Opening up UFC Sacramento, we have Chanel Dyer taking on Elise Reed. Chanel Dyer is 7-1 in her professional career, and she has powerful striking. She has 5 KOs out of her 7 wins. She only lost a decision to Carol Faro, who we just saw in Dana White's Contender Series. And that was a gritty fight. But I'm very happy that they still gave her the opportunity because she had her UFC debut against Ravina Oliveira, where she had a TKO round 2 with leg kicks. Now, she has powerful striking, good, fast, powerful leg kicks. She has forward pressure. She's very aggressive, and she cuts off the cage effectively. She's taking on Elise Reed, 8-5 in her professional career. She's been knocked out 3 times and submitted twice. This girl gets finished often, and you could see that she got TKO in her last fight against Denise Gomes. She had a win over Jessica Penne, and then she was submitted by Lupina Godinez. You know, she's exchanging wins and losses throughout her whole career. She beat Hilary Rose, lost to Shajara Eubanks, beat Corey McKenna, lost to Sam Hughes, beat Melissa Martinez, lost to Conclac. I'm not even trying that. Win, loss. I could keep going. So, following that trajectory, you would think she would win here. No odds on the fight yet, but she's not winning here. Chanel Dyer has great striking. We were breaking down Elise Reed. Before we get into why I think Chanel is going to win, Elise Reed, she's very hittable. Her head is very straight up, and she has a loose fighting stance with her hands out. She's open to shots, and we saw that in her last fight. She has good takedown defense, and she's very active in the clinch. But she has poor fight IQ. You know, she'll do things that she's not supposed to do during those times. She has the clinch. She won't go for the takedown. She won't go for a submission when she has the opportunity. And I think Chanel just dominates here. I think she's going to get knocked out. And Chanel by TKO, I wish I had the odds to show you. But I could imagine Chanel being like a minus 500. And the odds are going to get worse. This is going to be maybe minus 700-800 by the time fight night happens, because we're only posting this on Sunday. I mean, maybe Monday. I'm breaking this down Sunday. But it's going to get really wide, almost unbettable. But nonetheless, we are going with Chanel Dyer by TKO. Let's keep running up this card. We have Jackson McVeigh taking on Wesley Schultz. Jackson McVeigh is 7-2 in his professional career. He's coming off of that submission win, first round against Rodrigues Dumas. I called that early. Before I started making this channel, I was trying to break down fights of my own, trying to see if I really had a knack for it. I didn't want to just throw my name out there. But I was watching McVeigh since his UFC debut. And every single fight that I was trying to break him down, I have a cat. Every single fight that I was trying to break down, he kept getting replaced. First, he was supposed to fight, I forgot who he was supposed to fight, and then he had to fight Bruno Ferreira. He was supposed to fight somebody else, then he had to fight Zachary Reese. Then he had a full fight camp against Rodrigues Dumas, and he smoked him. And I was breaking down McVeigh for a long, long time. And he is an aggressive striker, but he has Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has submissions. He was undefeated before the UFC, and he got smoked twice by submission. 3 KOs, 4 submissions. And it's funny because my boy was texting me, and he's like, wouldn't a safe option just to take McVeigh by a takedown? Like, you see the odds, and it just doesn't make sense. Why is him getting a takedown plus money? Well, you got to watch his fights, right? So I jokingly said, well, you gotta watch all of his fights, because this guy will get submissions because he's tall, 6'4". He will get his arm over your neck in scrambles and choke you out like that, right there. Or he'll drop you like he did with Dumas, who was very aggressive, striking, heavy hands, and he'll drop you, scramble, grab your neck. He loves front chokes. And you can see that. Look at this. He got first round submissions, first round knockouts all through LFA. And when he came to the UFC, he finally got a win. And I was high off of him. I'm like, oh, I like finishers. I like people that get it done. And now he's taking on Wesley Schultz. Wesley Schultz is 9-3 in his professional career. He got a comeback win over Ben Johnston. I picked Ben Johnston in his last fight because I don't think Wesley Schultz is UFC caliber. He was knocked out by Piñas, and now we know Piñas has amazing power. But he has sloppy takedowns. He gets reversed on the ground. He has windmilling striking. His striking is not good. His entries are not good. Now, you'll look at this fight and be like, well, McVeigh only gets submitted. And Schultz been knocked out twice of his 3 losses. Piñas and Mansour Malik. Now, these are... And Dylan Butka brought him to a decision. Butka is a good wrestler. Now, the people that can beat him have been beating him. Like, these names that you can recognize from UFC. But if you do a 1 + 1 = 2, this is not it. Can Wesley Schultz get a submission? Maybe. Taking the fight to end by submission could be a good bet, but I think McVeigh is going to smoke him. I don't think Wesley Schultz is that good of a fighter. Now, he fought in LFA as well. He has some regional wins. But just watching him fight, he tries to run forward with his hands out trying to get a takedown. He doesn't set it up very well. Jackson has, they call him the Moose, so I'm just going to call him Moose because it's just Jackson, McVeigh, say the whole thing. Moose over here, he can stuff takedowns. It's just that the elite grapplers, talking about, Reese is not that elite. He's more of a nerd, a jiu-jitsu nerd. But Bruno Ferreira has great submissions. And he took McVeigh down because his takedown defense is not that great, and he submitted him. Zachary Reese had to fight for it. He was bloodied up early. McVeigh was in his face. He just couldn't get Reese out of there early enough. And I tell you, I picked McVeigh in every fight. I am high off of him. I think he has great power, his aggression. He treats everybody the same. And that's fun because you ever bet on somebody like, he doesn't normally do this. That's not what he does. Why is he doing this? The other night, Charles Johnson, I had him by knockout or decision. He doesn't really get submissions. Next thing you know, Scottish Twister. He doesn't do this. Why is he fighting this way? Well, McVeigh is very consistent. Knockout or submission are very live in this fight, and I'm going to be placing a bet on him. Next up, we have Gage Young taking on Stanley Dorsonville. Gage Young, 11-3 in his professional career. He is coming off of his split decision over Thiago Moises. He has 6 KOs, 1 submission, 4 decisions on his belt. He lost his Dana White's Contender Series over Quillen Salkild, where he has good pressure. He had some takedown defense, but not a lot because you see Salkild take him down. But he had his own takedown against Salkild. Didn't do a lot with it. I'll be, transparent with that. But he's durable as hell. He'll get hit, keep coming forward. He has a good jab, nice wide stance, good movement. He has his own good pressure. He has clean striking. He's very technical. He's fought good competition. Now, it shows 11 KOs on his record. We haven't seen that translate to the UFC. He's been a little bit of a decision guy. He's losing decisions, winning decisions, but he's taking on short-notice replacement Stanley Dorsonville, 5-0 in his professional career. 3 subs, 1 KO, 1 decision. Now, he has his own decent pressure. He doesn't check leg kicks though. He has good movement, and he's striking to get you into a clinch. He headhunts quite a bit, winging overhands. And when I saw he fought Arthur Jean, let's see how long ago that was. Arthur Jean, oh, that's his amateur. He got a submission round 2, but he was dropped. The tape that I found, a few tapes that I found, but in this one particularly, he was dropped by Arthur Jean, and he was still able to come forward, recover, and ended up getting that finish win. He could possibly beat Chinny. I'm not sure, but originally Gage was supposed to fight Cody Steele, but Cody pulled out, obviously. And I think this is gonna be it's gonna be a little bit of a back and forth fight, but I think Gage could get his first KO win in the UFC here. I don't think Stanley's that impressive from what I saw, because although he has some submissions, he has 3 submissions like I said, he will snatch up submissions and scramble. But Gage Young, he's durable, he has good submission defense, although he was submitted, but that was early in his career over Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee got a 3rd round armbar. Let's look at Bobby Lee. 15 and 10. Ooh, 15 and 10. Not the best on the record, but since then, we haven't seen Gage really fight anybody too menacing with the grappling, other than Quill and Salkild, because we just saw what Salkild did to Gamrot. So I think he improved since then, I'll be honest. So the pick is going to be Gage Young. I think he's going to get a knockout here, or just going to keep the same trajectory that he just keeps getting decisions. But I think he needs to start getting some finishes, or he could possibly just be a decision merchant in the UFC. Might even get cut one day, because he's okay. He's a good fighter. I'm not too high on him either, but he should get this win here. Next, we got an exciting one. We have Marcio Barbosa taking on Ryan Hughes on his UFC debut. Marcio, don't get it twisted with Mauricio, because I did the same thing. And that guy is 2-0. Not the same guy. Marcio is 18 into his professional career. He's been knocked out twice, but he is killing everybody. 15 KOs out of 18 wins, 2 submissions. The guy he never lost a decision. He only has 1 decision win on his record. He's coming off of that dominant performance over Dennis Bazooka, where he just folded him. Eyes rolled back. It was not even close. He has 1-punch knockout power, powerful legs, power in both hands, stiff jab, good takedown defense. He could headhunt a little bit, but he has his own head movement and good footwork. And there's nothing more to say. He's just an absolute killer in there. He's taking on Ryan Hughes. He is 10-2 in his professional career. He is a debut coming off of his own TKO round 2 over Leandro Camargo. He fought in LFA recently and Fury FC, where he went to a split decision loss to Cameron Smotherman. He has decent power. He can be backed up though, and he keeps his head very, very forward. He was rocked, but then he recovered in one of his last fights. He has good leg kicks, and he has good pressure. He's trying to go into a takedown, and he has good takedown entries. This should be Marcio all day. This should be a knockout win for him again. Nothing more to say. Welcome to the UFC, Ryan. Next, we have a lightweight bout between Chris Taco Padilla and Nasrat Haqparast. Nasrat, he is 18-6 in his professional career, 10 knockout wins. He doesn't really go for submissions, but he has been submitted before and knocked out before. He was just coming off of a head kick knockout by Quillan Salkild. That's the highlight reel that we're watching every time we talk about Quillan Salkild now. But he is a Muay Thai striker. He has powerful hands. He sets up his left hand with a liver kick often, and we saw that in his fights. He likes to mix in the body and the head. Good boxing. He has good striking defense, very technical. He'll circle around the cage to avoid strikes. Good movement. He keeps a high guard and he has an in and out style. Good power, good takedown defense. Powerful straight left. He's taking on Chris Padilla, 17-6 in his professional career. He is coming off of a draw with Markel Medeiros. That was a back and forth war. I think they originally gave it to Taco and then they switched it. But Taco Padilla has 9 KOs, 5 submissions. He is a powerful, well-rounded fighter. He has good striking in his own right. He has a nice overhand, good power. He has elbows. Did you see that elbow with, what was this guy's name now? Jurong? Oh my God. Clipped his eye. That was the fight that I was just watching to break down this fight. And you could see that the leg kicks and the range from Wrong that was giving Taco some trouble. But once he abandoned those leg kicks and it became more of a striking fight, like just pure hands, you can see that Padilla was the better overall striker. Although he can be backed up and low volume at times, he picks his shots. He is susceptible to leg kicks, as I just mentioned, and but he has some leg kicks of his own. He is very active in the clinch, and you have to watch out for those short elbows. This is going to be a very close fight. I don't care what the odds say when the odds drop. This is going to be very close on paper, and I had trouble picking this fight. I really did. Overall, I am going with Chris Padilla. I like his clinch work. I like his elbows. I like the striking that he brings here. Nasrat is going to circle out. He's going... Who else knocked out Nasrat? Because that leg kick knockout, I mean, that could happen to anybody. Because, yeah, he got knocked out by Drew Dober. You know, these are people that knock people out. Who else did he fight that we would have to be worried about? King Green, Dan Hooker, they got some power. Esteban Ribovics, we just saw him in UFC 330 get a knockout over, wow, I can never get his name. Gotta look him up. We just watched him fight. That is sad. Let's see real quick. Edson Barbosa. Wow. Don't know why I just couldn't get that out. But he went to a split decision there. So you could see the durability from Nasrat. Now, what's he going to look like after the KO loss? We don't know yet. We don't know what he's going to look like. And that's the troubling part here. We're going with Padilla. Maybe by submission? Who submitted him also? Let's look at that. Let's look at this. This is early on. Very early on. And we love MMA by a guy that only got submission. Adrian Roof, 2-0. And he hasn't fought. Yeah, he fought Tommy Frank afterwards. So, it's safe to say he hasn't really fought a grappler either. Who has he fought that's really going to go for submission? Padilla might get a submission here. You know, he has tricky submissions. He has some takedowns of his own. He does go into a clinch, can get you down, might submit you. That's troubling. Nonetheless, we're going with Padilla. Slight confidence, but I think he gets it done, nonetheless. Next up on UFC 330, we have a heavyweight bout with Shamil Gaziev taking on Kennedy Nzechukwu. Kennedy Nzechukwu, he's notoriously a light heavyweight that moved up, and he has a win over Carlos Ulberg, the current champion. This was like 5 years ago. 10 of his 14 wins by KO. He has been submitted twice, knocked out twice. He has one submission on his belt, but he's not going to be a submission guy here. He has good movement. He leans forward, so his reach is tremendous. He has some leg kicks. He's long, rangy. He can be sloppy with his strikes. He has good takedown defense. And he can be hittable at times. He's taking on Shamil Gaziev, 14-3. He has 3 knockout losses, 3 submission wins. 9 of his 14 are by knockout also. He's never won a decision, never lost by submission. He is coming off of back-to-back KO losses to Brando Pericic and Waldo Costa-Cortez. He has one-punch knockout power, and you can see that he chases it. He'll walk forward, flumbering, stumbling. He's not fast, but his hands are. Keeps his hands low because he's always chasing that one punch. He swings from the hip. He won't check leg kicks, and he could be hittable. His cardio is terrible. If it starts round 2, he's not going to win this. I think Nzechukwu can stay safe. He's going to be faster because he was a light heavyweight. He has better speed, better head movement. I think Kennedy can avoid the big shots and probably get a late KO. I don't see this going round. I see this leaving round 1, possibly a KO round 2 or 3 for Kennedy, because again, Shamil is hittable and his cardio is just atrocious. He might try to work a clinch and hold Kennedy if he can. Shamil is good, but he's not great anywhere other than that one punch. That's all he got. So I got Kennedy here by KO. There are just so many knockout possibilities on this card. Speaking of, Jamal Emmers taking on Larian Douglas. Larian Douglas, 14-5 in his professional career. He is knocking out everybody. He was kicked in 2023 by Isaac Thompson. Kick after kick after kick to the liver, to the head. He wobbled Douglas. But most of the time, if he's getting knocked out, because he does have 2 knockouts out of his losses, it's mostly from body shots. Mostly to the liver. But he's knocking out everybody since then. Ivan Tenya, Nathan Gahirib, Javier Reyes, who's in the UFC now, Elijah Johns. He is coming off of a KO first round victory over Julian Arosa. He has great striking defense, great takedown defense. He has decent cardio. He has power in both hands. He has good pressure. He's a good fighter. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the featherweight division. Taking on Jamal Emmers. Bit older now, 37 years old. He's 22-8 in his professional career, 9 KOs, 3 submissions. He has 3 KO losses, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem here. He himself is coming off of that decision win over Hyder Emil. Before that, he had a nice TKO over Gabriel Miranda. Got knocked out by Nate Landwehr. Had a knockout over Dennis Bazooka. He has good scrambles if he's taken down. He has good power. He kind of overextends his right hand, and we'll touch on that in a moment. Good movement and good cardio. Now, when he overextends that right hand, I can see the left hook from Douglas coming over and dropping Emmers, or at least hurting him pretty badly. He will have the reach advantage, not by much, 2 inches. This should be Douglas written all over it. He probably should be the favorite. I try to break down all these fights without odds. I don't want anything to sway my opinion. So as I'm scrolling through, I don't see odds for any of these fights, which is good. This is completely... That's how I broke down the Chidi and Njokuani fight. I picked him as a dog. He was like a plus 250, almost 300 dog. He closed at 350, and I bet on him that night. I was like, okay, he wasn't in any of my confident picks, or even in my underdog section. Am I missed the mark? I might have put him in the missed the mark. I have to look back at that. But I bet on him, and he won. Although Alvarez didn't look good, but regardless, there was a significant striking advantage on his side and the weight advantage, I guess, because he was 185 going to 170. Alvarez was coming up to 170, although it wasn't their debuts at 170, but he just looked bigger. Now, that was a significant red flag in my mind, but needless to say, all I'm saying is, that context aside, I don't break down these fights with odds, ever. I don't like anything to sway my opinion. I'll give you the miss the mark later, because I will hear other people talk, scroll through TikTok, YouTube, and I see these people like, damn, nobody's picking this dog? You guys out of your mind. Anyway, this should be Larion. This should be Douglas written all over it. Douglas is probably going to get a KO here, and there's a lot of finishes on this card. We have a couple of big boys here. We got Anthony Wint taking on Terrence Chapman, both making their UFC debut. Let's start with Terrence Chapman. He is a powerful striker. He's 5-1 in his professional career. He's a bit stationary and sluggish from the fights that I've watched. Although he does pick it up and ends up getting knockouts, he's just a bit low volume. He has power and he has good accuracy, but if you watch him, he's very comfortable just jabbing along, trying to get his range. He's just in and out, just doesn't have the best movement, doesn't have the best guard or striking defense. He's taking on Anthony Wint. If you remember that name, he just fought in Dana White's Contender Series. Now, he is 7-0 with 5 knockouts, 1 submission, and 1 decision. And in that decision, I just watched it, he got a lot of takedowns. And he is powerful, explosive, he has good leg kicks, good takedowns, and good takedown entries. He does have a good striking defense, and it shows. Undefeated, but he's typically knocking out everybody. First round. He's really good. He was actually in the NFL, and now he's here. And we've seen that translate in the heavyweights recently. We have Josh Hokett making his splash in the UFC alongside Austin Lane. Well, Austin Lane's been here for a couple of years, although not the fighter we all thought he might be, getting knocked out. He's just a highlight reel at this point. But Anthony Wint has highlights of him his own right. Dana White's Contender Series, got the first round knockout. Big favorite. And I think he spoke to Dana White. He's like, I'm not leaving Vegas. Put me on the next card. But now they're fighting in Sacramento. But this should be easy. I think Wint's going to get the knockout. And it's just, I'm noticing a pattern in this card. It's a lot of knockouts. And good. You know, we fell asleep during the Islam Makhachev fight. And now we get to wake up to these knockout reels. So I'm excited for this one. I think Anthony Wint gets it done. I'm not high on Terrence Chapman. I don't think he's that good. He's just a little too low volume for me to have any type of excitement over it. Here we go, our featured prelim of the night. Carla Judice is taking on Jesla Chavez. Jesla Chavez 8-0 in her professional career. She's coming off of that split decision win to Yesenia Dubin. And if you watch that fight with Dana White's Contender Series over Sofia Montenegro, they went to war. Both girls were bloodied up. She is listed as a striker with Muay Thai, but a lot of her wins are coming over girls that are not very good. Most of the girls are 0-1, 0-5. Like, these girls barely fight at all. And she's just knocking out cans. She was originally a ring girl until 2023. She started fighting MMA. And she's been getting split decisions in her UFC career so far. She's taken on Carla Judice. Carla Judice is 6-2. She has 5 KOs of her wins. Of her 6 wins, never been finished. 2 decision losses. She's coming off a decision win over Juliana Miller. She had a nice 3rd round TKO over Nicole Carriari. I just watched that fight. She beat the crap out of that girl. 7 of 8 takedown defenses. Her takedown defense was phenomenal. Her striking is crisp. That's why I guess they call her Carly Crispy Judy's. She's very accurate. She has an in-out style. Good leg kicks. She'll tag and run. She'll hit you, bang, run away. She keeps range very well. And if you get her to a clinch, she will knee you up the middle. Like I said, great takedown defense too. She's all around a good fighter. Jesla Chavez, she's a little bit hittable. She can be telegraphed in her striking. Pretty patient. And she cuts pretty quickly. We saw that in her Dana White's Contender Series. She's a bit hittable. Some power, but again, she's beating up girls that are just not MMA caliber. I think this is a squash match. Carla Judice is probably going to be like minus 700 by the time these lines actually close. Chavez is going to lose her O. She might go back to being a ring girl. Next up on our main card, we got Markel Medeiros taking on Mason Dragon Jones. Mason is 18-2 in his professional career. He's coming off of that decision win over Axel Sola. I think that was the last fight. Let me look it up. Yes. They went to war. Mason was dropped early, round 1, cut open. I think he has a lot of scar tissue. So that's a problem moving forward. If he gets hit and he's already bloodied up, it doesn't look good. But he is, like I said, 18-2, 8 KOs, 3 submissions, 7 decisions. He's never been finished before. He's never out of a fight. He is a complete dog who will work for your money. And he has good power. He is durable as hell. Like I said, he was dropped early, came back. And then the same story with Bellagioki. Dropped. They kept going back and forth. And then eventually round 2, he got the elbow knockout. He's able to get inside on a tall guy. And we saw that with Axel Sola. He was able to get inside the striking range and make it a little dirty. He's never out of an exciting fight. He has good cardio too. He mixes in combos and he'll go a hard 3. Taking on Markel Medeiros, 11-1 in his professional career. He's coming off of a draw with Chris Padilla, who's on this card as well. He has 6 KOs, 5 decisions, never been finished himself. But his power hasn't translated to the UFC. He had a knee to punches, it's stated, over Isa Isakov in Dana White's Contender Series. And he hasn't had a win since then. I mean, a KO since then. Unanimous decision over Landon Quinones. That was like a hug fest. I was just rewatching. I'm like, I just got to put this on speed. Get through it. Too much clinch work. He's good in the clinch. He will throw knees up the middle, but he can be taken down. He has stalking pressure. He also can be hit. He's a slick striker who likes to keep the range if he can. He has good power and good movement. The last time he had a knockout was Dana White's Contender Series. He's knocking out everybody else before then. Justice Lemperez. Let's see. 10-20. He's knocked out 10-20 guy. Before that, Tracy Reeder knocked him out 12-5. That's not bad. We're just going through. Ben Lugo. 5-7. So a lot of his KO wins I'm seeing here. 0-5, knocked out this guy Rios. 0-5, Jonathan Muskovitz. 1-3. He hasn't really knocked out anybody of quality. He looks good though. He looks like a good striker. We're going with Mason Jones though. Mason Jones, like I said, he's never out of fight. Although he can be hittable, but he will get on the inside and he will make it dirty. And we saw that with Landon Quinones against Markel Medeiros, where it was a pretty close fight, but it's mostly clinch work. I don't think Mason's just going to allow the clinch. I think he's going to get dirty. He's going to get in there. It is funny that Mason Jones has a 74-inch reach and Medeiros has a 69.5. Because if you look at this, you would think the opposite. When you watch Medeiros fight, you're like, oh, he has a long reach. It's actually the opposite. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm going Mason Jones. Even the reach kind of pushed me a little bit more confidently here. Yeah, I think Mason Jones gets a decision win, though. I don't think he's knocking out Medeiros. I think this goes the distance for either fighter. It's probably going to be a 2.5 round line lean. I'm going to go the over. Next, we have a banger. We have Renier de Renier taking on Roman Dolidze. Renier is 21-4 in his professional career, and he is coming off back-to-back skid. He was, TKO loss against Brendan Allen, where he sort of gave up. He wasn't the person we saw dominating that first round. He slowed down. He wasn't exactly healthy in that fight. The weight cut ultimately was the issue at middleweight. Now he's fighting at light heavyweight. I think it's more natural for him. Although he has accolades in 185 and 205, I think this will be better for him. He also had a decision loss in the last fight against Cal Barajo, where we proved that his striking is not the best. But let's break him down a little bit more. He has good leg kicks up the middle. If he clinches with you, nasty knees up the middle. His striking is just okay. He has dominant grappling. If he gets you to the ground, you are not getting back up. He has a plethora of submissions. 13 submissions, 5 TKOs, 3 decision wins. He is a finisher. He has 1 decision loss, which is the last one, and 3 TKO losses. Brendan Allen, okay, he gave up, but he wasn't knocked out. So he was knocked out by Anatoly twice in 1 championship. And one is, I've seen some highlights. One is a dangerous promotion. This guy has 11 of 15, Anatoly, by the way. 11 of 15 wins by KO. This guy is a menace in 1. A menace. Now, he came off of a split decision loss to Umar Kane and then knocked out Umar Kane in the 4th round. Guy has got back. Kudos to him. But we're breaking down Renier. He is susceptible to jabs, as we saw in the Whitaker fight, where he was getting pieced up early because Whitaker was just faster. Much faster than him. He will use his striking to set up those takedowns. He has a nice single leg. Those knees up the middle are just so nasty. Going up against Roman Dolidze, 15-5 in his professional career. He's coming off of back-to-back losses. One of these guys are going to be back in the win column here. He had a decision loss to CLD, and then he got submitted. Roman here got submitted for his first time over Anthony Hernandez. Now, I was just watching that fight too. But before that, Roman's never been finished. 38 years old, and he has 5 losses, 4 of which by decision. 15 wins, 8 of those are KO, 3 submissions. He, too, is a finisher in his own right. Now, he has okay striking. He can be taken down. We've seen that in the last fight against Hernandez. It was not the last fight, the second to last fight. Taken down by Hernandez several times. He'll scramble. He'll try to go for submissions, some leg locks. He is pretty patient, and he has okay power. Decent cardio, but again, against Hernandez, he looked tired in the second round. He was mouth open, breathing heavy, doesn't check leg kicks. When he's backed up, could be dangerous here. I think the overall pressure from Renier is going to be the factor, and being that we saw Roman taken down several times, what is he going to do against this jiu-jitsu champion? Now, to rattle off some of Renier's accolades, because he has a lot here. I had to look him up. Former 1 middleweight champion, former 1 light heavyweight champion, 2 Division 1 champions, I just said, only 3rd double champion in 1 history. That's amazing. BJJ black belt, judo black belt. So, again, when he goes in those clinches, he will shoot takedowns, but he also has judo. He has, the folk style wrestling, and he also has judo wrestling. This, what is that, more Greco-Roman, I suppose. He former 360 middleweight champion, former hit middleweight champion. He is a killer in these other divisions. And most notably, he came in as a huge underdog over Bo Nickel, got a nasty knee up the middle. I told you, those knees are lethal. Won a split decision, controversial, over Robert Whittaker. Many people think that Robert won split decision for a reason, you know? Ultimately, I think Ranier is going to clear here, probably by submission. And it's just, you see Roman notoriously has good cardio, but he seems like he's slowing down. Ranier should clear here. Don't know his odds, but I would think he would get another submission win here to add to his accolades. Sorry. But yeah, Ranier, pretty confidently. Co-main event time. We got Vitor Petrino taking on Sergey Spivak. I think the fight order is going to change. Not 100%. We're not there yet. But I believe this is the co-main. Vitor Petrino, 14-2 in his professional career. He is coming off of that comeback win over Steven Asplund, where he was dropped early. He had some success. He had some power, some good grappling. And he was hurt. Recovered pretty well, but he has questionable cardio. Moving up to heavyweight. He moved up to heavyweight, got submission win over Austin Lane, knockout win over Thomas Peterson. Before that, he suffered his first 2 professional losses. Submission to Anthony Smith and a Dustin Jacoby knockout loss. He had a lot of success in that fight, I remember, with Dustin Jacoby. Now he's up at heavyweight. He has power in both hands, good takedown defense. He's patient, technical. When you try to take him down, he has good balance. He's taking on Sergey Spivak, 18-6 in his professional career. He's been knocked out 4 times, never submitted. He is a finisher, 7 KOs, 8 submissions, 3 decisions. He is coming off of his decision win over Ante Delija. Before that, he went to a decision with Waldo Acosta-Cortez. Cortez Acosta. I'm messing up tonight. Before that, knocked out by Jailton Almeida. It's like, ugh. That's a rough loss because Almeida is just not that good. Submission win over Marcin Tybura, where he was taken down, but then he had tricky submissions off his back. He got knocked out by Cyril Gane. He submitted Derek Lewis. Now, what we got here? He'll strike to a clinch. He has good takedowns. He'll set them up. If he is hit, he shells up a little too much. So if you hit him with combinations, he's not really moving around. He's just shelling up and taking the hits. It's not really that good. Nice wide stance, but it leads him to get leg kicked pretty often in his calf. He is a better hammer than he is a nail in the wrestling department. And he, like I said, he can be pressured with combos. I think he's obviously fought the better competitions at heavyweight. And I think if he could stay safe round 1 over Vitor Petrino, I think the Polar Bear can get a win here. It's rough because Anthony Smith caught Vitor in a guillotine. But who has he fought that has tricky submissions? Especially at heavyweight. Sergey definitely slowed down later in his career, but he's only 31. It's crazy how many wins this guy has, how many fights he's had in the UFC. He's fought since 2019, where he got knocked down in his debut. This is rough. This is going to be a very tough fight for anyone to pick. I'm going to go with Sergey here. I'm not high on Vitor at heavyweight yet. His cardio is questionable, as I've stated. because he's gotten a third round KO over Thomas Pearson. He held the power for 3 rounds. That was impressive. Submission win round 1 over Austin Lane, but who's not finishing Austin Lane? If you have Vitor by knockout in that, I'm so sorry for you. Because Austin Lane is just getting knocked out by anybody. A win over Steven Asplund. I think Asplund was just pushed a little too early. And Asplund dropped him. It was bad, but he recovered. It was a really good dog fight. I'm taking a splash at the dog. Well, I assume dog, because Sergey hasn't looked good as of late. Trading losses. Submitted Derek Lewis. It was great. Then he lost to Cyril Gahn, who we see he's doing very well at heavyweight. Was taken down by Marcin Tybura, which is not a good look, but he got the submission win. Back-to-back losses. I've stated this all before, but I'm just rambling on, trying to convince myself, I suppose. No bet on this fight, but I think Sergey Spivak wins here. Main event time. We have Anthony Fluffy Hernandez taking on Robocop Gregory Rodrigues. Gregory Rodrigues, 19-6 in his professional career. He's been knocked out 4 times. And I shouldn't be picking him here, spoiler alert, because during my birthday, he lost me a huge bet. And we're going back 4 fights ago when he was death gassed over Jared Cannonier. And I looked it up. He claimed he had a bad weight cut. Hopefully it doesn't happen here. But what a terrible birthday present. You're always going to keep hold that to heart for a little while, because I actually bet against him a few times after that because I thought his cardio was trash. But then he proved me wrong by getting a knockout over Jack Hermanson, a decision win over Roman Kopylov, which is reasonable. Kopylov is pretty durable, and then a KO over Bruno Ferreira to get his get back there. Now, he has submissions under his belt. 19 wins, 3 submissions, 12 KO wins, 2 decision losses. So that's where, he's never been submitted before, which is important here because he's going against a wrestler and a grappler. And to break it down further, he does have a wrestling background, and that's important. I had to look this up because I wasn't exactly sure of his entire accolades. I had to look it up for you guys. And there's a litany. BJJ black belt, 8-time Brazilian national BJJ champion, professional world champion Abu Dhabi, member of Brazil's cadet wrestling team during his amateur career, trained in Olympic-style wrestling, Pan-American wrestling champion, silver medalist, runner-up, IBJJF world champion. He has championship belts in BJJ. That's why I listed here BJJ. Powerful striking. He will one punch knock you out. Taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, 15-3 in his professional career. He's been submitted once, and he's been knocked out twice. He's never lost a decision. 9 submission wins, 3 KO wins. He's coming off of the KO loss to Sean Strickland. I picked Sean there because I know Sean has good wrestling in his own right, and that proved against Hamzat. And I thought Sean was just going to get a decision. He knocked him out. Body shots. Nuts. Proving that Fluffy was pretty fluffy because he ate those body shots and didn't recover. He is okay striking. He uses his calf kick sometimes. He likes to work to a clinch, take it down. He has good cardio. He has a pressure forward style. Striking defense is just okay. Going Robocop here. Come on. This man has tremendous power. And when you're going against a wrestler and you have power, you need to be able to fend off the wrestling. And I think Gregory is going to be stronger. He's going to be faster. He's going to have the more power. The cardio may be questionable because I'm always going to hold that to heart. And why did he death gas? He knocked down Jared Cannonier 3 times in that round. Couldn't get him out of there. I was like, oh, it's over. Happy birthday to me. Made some money. Nope. death gassed. Got knocked out by Jared Cannonier. Nuts. And the cardio is always going to be questionable in my mind. But I don't see this going past the first or second round. I think he clears here. I think he knocks out Fluffy. I've never been the biggest, I guess Fluffy. I am a Fluffy hater, I suppose. I picked against him a few times. Picked against him with the Michelle Pereira. I didn't know Michelle Pereira was just not that good. Or he just, I guess his TikToks and when you see him, like the highlights, flipping off cages, it's like, oh, this guy's going to dominate Fluffy. Fluffy dominated him. Put my foot in my mouth. But then he goes on. He beat Roman Kopylov. He beat Edmund Shabazian. Beat Marc-Andre Barriou. Beat Josh Frem. He has a lot of experience in the UFC. Beat Brendan Allen recently. Roman Dolidze. He beat the crap out of Roman Dolidze. And we were just breaking down Roman Dolidze in my last breakdown. If you haven't noticed, I clip these one by one because I'm making sure I watch them and break them down completely before I want it to be fresh in my mind. We just broke down Roman Dolidze and he did not look as good. But again, I don't think Anthony Hernandez is that good. I'm still high on Robocop and his power. And knowing that he has that wrestling background, I gotta go with him. Rodrigues by knockout. Let's get it. That's the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments who you're picking for this card. And also, Dubby just sent me a shake bottle and a Calio cream, mango orange cream. Delicious. Keeps me energized all day. You can't really see the green because of the green screen, but it's green and purple. Beautiful. They sent me this. It contains coffee fruit extract. Amazing. If you guys want to get your own, check the affiliate link in the description. Put Bullseye Bet at checkout. Get your 10% off. Leave the guesswork out. Let's go hit the target, and I'll see you guys on the scorecards.